Fin. I got this boat a couple of weeks ago, pulled it all the way from Lowestoft. Been used on the Norfolk Broads, I think, up till a few years ago. Needed a bit of work. What you see here isn't as it was when I got it. I've already started. I'm trying to get it in the water as soon as I can. So you see I've anti-fouled the bottom, started doing some paint here. This is all got to be painted and the whole top side has got to be done. I'll walk you around the boat as it is now, and then I'll keep updating my videos so you can see how we get on with it. Here are some clips of when I first got it. You can see the inside looks quite dated. Someone's tried to modernise it, but not to my taste. So we'll have a look round. So at the front we've got the bow painted, and we've started to do the anti-foul. All the white on the hull has been sanded down. I'll probably give it another sand before I start painting that in a few days' time. A few holes and bits and pieces that need filling before I do any of that. Got the engine under here. I've anti-fouled where I can, but we'll paint the rest at the top a bit later. So I still need to get the old bits of wooden guttering off at the top here and replace those. When it came, it had a fender on one side which was wood with metal on the outside, and the other side had been removed, but the wood was rotten and the metal was going rusty, so I've completely removed that from this side. So that needs a bit more preparation, a bit more filling, and I'm going to probably get a rubber one to go around the edges. See underneath, I haven't done anything with that yet. I'm going to sand it. These bits of wood here, you can see are quite rotten, so I should probably replace those now rather than waiting another year. The one thing that does concern me at the moment is when I've looked inside where these are fixed on, some of the screws have gone through the hole. It's not a problem here or here, but if they've done the same here and it's gone through and it's not thick enough here, obviously I might get a bit of water going in, so I'm going to have to be very careful when it goes in the water, because I can't really inspect very well inside. So before I put it in the water, I'm going to have to get some bilge pumps just in case. So here we are inside the boat. I've made quite a bit of progress stripping it out. So we'll start here. So you've got the entrance there, and the toilet compartment I haven't really done anything with. Still the old chemical toilet in there, the electrics, etc. So the plan is that'll probably get done last. The plan is to replace everything in there, put some new wood panels in and tidy it up a bit, get rid of this horrible yellow paint. I also want to replace that door. We've got a step as we go in, which lifts up I should probably keep that in place and just tidy it up. Now on this side, this is where there was a unit, very old looking unit. It had a chest of drawers there in that area, like you'd have in your bedroom, that had been fitted in. So I got rid of that. It then went down to a desk here, which I think was used for jigsaw puzzles at one stage, looking out the window. So I've ripped all that out. It looks like it's been modified. I think when this was original, this was probably here or further back here somewhere, and went up higher, but everything's been chopped down. A lot of the wood that made up all of this here was made out of that sort of wood, so it's been chopped up. Same that side. So all that's going to come out, and I'm going to put a new wood partition in somewhere down here, probably running the whole length. And I'm going to bring it out because there's not enough room to lay down here up to that point, so I'm going to bring it out here somewhere. On this side, it had an old fiberglass unit that looked a bit like this along here, with a cooker here and then a sink, and I've ripped that out because it looked terrible. The cooker was in quite a bad state. It looked alright on the outside, but all the pipes were corroded, and the sink looked quite old, so I've got rid of that. Completely ripped it all out, gutted it. See, it's taking on quite a bit of water. We've had a bit of rain in the last few days, and that's filled up. So I'm going to have to find out where that's coming in from and sort it out. Same under there. And one question I have, which I haven't worked out yet, is, see, there's a barrel there. There's also one in the other side, which is full of concrete, and I assume that was used once to put a bit of weight on the front to stop it tilting back. So I'm probably going to leave those in for now until I get it in the water to see what it actually does in the water. Okay, so the plan is everything in here is coming out apart from the fiberglass bits. On this side I'm going to put a table back in here, which I think there was a table and chairs here once before that table got put in. So I'm going to put it in this side, so they'll come out to about here. That whole area will be a table, like a dinette set, that will drop down into a bed. There'll be a partition up here separating the front area as a bed, which will convert from a sofa to a bed. And then this side is where I'm going to put all the sink and the cooker and everything. So starting there, working out to probably about somewhere here, and then we're going to have another sofa in just here. Okay, so we'll head outside now. So it did have a canopy with it, but I've taken that in to give it a clean. So we've got the windows, they fold down for going under low bridges, etc. All this looks quite dated, so I'm going to rip all this out. Just here it had an old office chair that had been converted into a folding seat, so I took that out straight away, and a box at the bottom, so I've got rid of that. The battery will probably stay there, but I'll make it a bit safer with the battery box in there. On this side there was just a loose box that filled that whole area, so I've taken all that out. Now in the back, this is where there was a cushion that goes on top of this. Again, all this needs redoing. This is all quite wobbly, so this will have to come out, and it looks like they've had issues with it staying in there, gone rotten, so I've put new bits on there, so the whole of this will come out completely. Under here we've got the outboard, the one that came with it, 25
horsepower Mercury. Looks okay. I'm sure it's okay, but we'll find out when I start it up one day. Probably when we get it into the water. The fuel went in this one. There's a load of jerry cans in this one. I've taken them all out. I'm going to clean it all up and paint it, repaint it. This side, that had just the battery stuff in, and that had a gas bottle in there. As you can see, the pipe's still there, but I'm taking all the gas out, and I'm going to redo all these pipes, and it's going to go off that way and into the cabin, because I've moving the side the cooker's on. And that's about it for now. Okay, that's it for now. I'll update you again very shortly with how I'm getting on.